Nathan qui ne se laisse pas faire, mais Eton va en profiter. Et donc le dépassement avec la petite touchette à la fin du virage.
Il est parti à la faute. Attention. Les fameux nuggets de Simon. Allez, le petit donuts, c'est parti. Welcome everybody on Paddock TV to follow and watch in live the season 2 of the Apex Online Racing GT3 Championship organized on Assetto Corsa competition. With me to comment this championship, Enric André. Hello Enric.
Hello Adrian, how are you?
Fine, thank you, and you?
Oh, I'm fine. We have a really beautiful sunny day today at the Nürburgring. The qualification should start shortly. We're just waiting for the drivers to complete the free practice session, which should be ending anytime soon.
Yeah, the Nürburgring will be the first round of this championship. As you can see, 8 rounds will compose this championship, the first round in Germany, here at the Nürburgring. The next week, on next Tuesday, it will be at Spa-Francorchamps. One specificity for this championship, we will switch each round between sprint race and endurance race, with 60 minutes race for the round number 1, 3, 5 and 7, and for the round 2, 4, 6 and 8 we will have the endurance race with 90 minutes. The third round will be at Zolder, and the fourth at Brenzach. For the second part of the season, we will start in Italy at Monza. Misano will be the second round in Italy and the sixth round in this championship. And to conclude the season in December, we will stay in Barcelona for the round number 7, and the last round will be in Great Britain at Silverstone. In the 10th of December. Hello Pierre, hello RT93 Esports TV. So welcome everybody. If you are watching us and you are in a chat, I remember that you can watch the broadcast on the Paddock TV's YouTube channel or even on the Twitch channel. Just search Paddock TV on Twitch. Hello Salvatore Andrea. Actually, some drivers on the track waiting to switch in qualification. For the moment, the practice session is led by Xipe. Xipe is racing the car number 22, the Bentley, actually in the pit lane. And the second one is driven by Tamali on this Lexus. Maybe a short presentation of the Apex Online Racing for those who didn't know the league. They are organizing different championship on many platforms. iRacing, Project Cars 2, Assetto Corsa, R Factor. But for this specific GT3 Season 2, 4 divisions are created, and You can see here that the fourth division is composed by at least 20 drivers. For the two first division, we have around 30 drivers wait tonight at the Nürburgring. For the moment, there are 27 on track. And as you can see in the pit lane, the different cars are represented. I'm not sure, Enric, that all the brand are present here on this pro division of the Apex Online Racing Championship. But with a quick look, we have seen several brands.
Yeah, first of all, we can see the Audi, which seems like a pretty famous, as we have like 4 cars already in the top 10 during the practice session. We can see also some couple of Lamborghini, Mercedes, some Lexus as well, and sadly we can see only one Ferrari, but it's up to P3 at the moment in this practice session. So quite an underrated car if we can see the rankings at the moment. No Aston Martin. I'm quite surprised actually. We know like there's the new GT3 Aston Martin car which is coming in the next build, but no Vantage today, which is a bit of shame because personally I really like this car, and
It's
a couple of BMW as well.
It's a quite old school, the Aston Martin. Maybe the drivers are waiting the next generation that will come. We don't know exactly when, but in a few weeks. So Salvatore, if you would like to find the Elite stream, you have to watch the Apex Online Racing TV. Here we are broadcasting the Pro Division, the second one. So you can see at the top of the screen that the free practice is still remaining 1 hour and 38 minutes. But I think we are waiting. The last driver, 29 drivers are on the track. I'll connect to the server.
I think like everyone now is on the server, so we might start in the next couple of minutes. Sorry for the delay, but we can maybe ride on board with maybe a Lexus. There's currently in P10 Absmeyer who's on a lap, and he's aborting it, just as I say that. There's a Lamborghini though who is currently doing a lap. Beck sitting in P13. Lamborghini, which was a quite unreliable car in his first race. For those who watched Daytona, the Rolex 24s of Daytona, Lamborghini almost like had a really fast car on that racetrack, but a couple of times lost the lead during the night due to some reliability issue or some crash. But when the car doesn't have any reliability issue, it's really fast. Wonderful sound from that Italian engine.
Yeah, the sound of the Lamborghini is one of the most impressive on all the field. All the cars have some specificity, but the sound of this Huracan GT3 is quite impressive. We are waiting the qualification session. 15 minutes for this qualifying session, and remember that all the drivers have to warm up their tires before to be able to reach the best performance of the car. So maybe in 15 minutes we are switching to the qualifying session just now. And who will be the first car on the track? There is some traffic jam at the end of the pit lane today.
"28 degrees in the air and 37 degrees on the track for this qualifying session, and apparently there's no wind.
I didn't have information of the wind, but yeah, 28, sunny, track at 37, clear, the weather is clear. All the drivers are now on track. For the first lap. At the end of this lap, the timing will start, but we can suppose it won't be the best time to define the pole position due to the fact that all the tire will be cold. The driver have to pay attention to warm up the tire in the first lap, the brakes also, and prevent any slipping of the tire. We know here when the tires are too warm, it's quite difficult to have a good pace with this car, but when it's too cold, it's the same. Difficulties are different, but the result is quite similar. The pace is not here.
So our first cars now are starting their qualifying lap. Really tricky and to get that turn one correctly.
We are here on board with Elias in the Lexus, in the Mercedes Arena to keep the apex.
We're arriving on a bit fast section. Quite a fast chicane there. Oh, there's a car on the gravel, but he's hopefully he will not impede Elias. And now we have a big straight leading to an hairpin, which is quite hard to get because you need to hit the apex 2 times. First one here and then the exit. Use all the curb on the exit. And then another fast chicane here. Not sure, no, it's not flat out. But you really need to use all the AstroTurf to carry a lot of speed. And I think it's Schumacher Hess. This is leading to another straight. Quite infamous straight, and it's where Bianchi had his little incident in Formula 1 in 2013. And then the final chicane, which is the Blancpain one, dangerous one, not the Formula 1 chicane. And then last corner, really need to get the car on the inside there, using all the track on the exit. And what time it will be for Elias, and it's only P7.
Yeah, the driver will have several attempts to try to improve the performance and the best lap of this qualifying session. For the moment, it's another Lexus that lead the field with 1 minute 54.2 for the pole position, and the gap with the second position is quite impressive, nearly than 17th.
Just I was saying that there's Abs Meyer, who is currently taking the second spot, only 3 tenths behind Mali.
And for the moment, 2 Lexus in the first row. In third, the AMG GT of Julian Paker, just followed by Jay Cool with an Audi. Quite
And
close.
Donny Ferrari is sitting in P5.
Yeah, in P5, but quite close from the Audi, with only a 0.006 separating both cars. Now in 6th and taking the third position when they cross the line.
And the Ferrari, okay, just improved. Up to P3 now.
The Audi.
And Paker is moving himself up to second position. Still 2 tenths and a half behind Mali. Elias finishing his lap. He was P12 and he's improving up to P4. 3 Lexus are in the top 4 at the moment.
Lexus are in first, third, and fourth. Only the AMG number 51 success to go in the middle of the Lexus. Maybe the Lamborghini of Julian Beck take the 4th position. Thomas Ose with the Audi got in 4th position, 1 minute 54.6. Julian Beck still in the pit lane. Elias still running. GK with the Ferrari will finish a new lap. Let's see if he will improve his position. Yes, it's the 5th position, just in front of Julian Beck.
It's quite interesting to know that Mali did his best lap on his first lap of his first stint, and everyone behind him improved on their second or third lap time. So really impressive lap from Mali, who managed to extract the maximum out of his tires in his first attempt.
Should we suppose that he have a setup quite aggressive to warm up the tire quickly, and a different setup for the race, or will race with the same setup?
I think we raced with the same setup, if I'm not mistaken. But maybe Mali just did an awesome lap, and he might be able to extend his lead if he's managing to do more than 1 lap.
Adrien Grenier take the 5th position with 1:54.6.
Oh, and Mali is very wide there. I think he lost some time. He's probably gonna go for a second lap. Yeah, but he's not improving. And look, GK, who was P5 maybe 1 minute ago, he's already going way back in P8. Pretty close field if you look at the gap between P2 and P24. A second is covering 22 drivers.
Let's see the different driver here of this field. Position 28, our Def with the Mercedes. with no time. Actually, you have to complete at least one lap to secure a better position, and still 5 minutes remaining in this qualifying session. Just in front of him, position 27, David Mamet with the Bentley. 1 minute 55.8. In 26, the yellow BMW Shooter 80. 2 tenths faster than David Mamet and quite close to Shaggy Dan with Audi. 2 tenths in front of, we can find Flask with the only 991 Porsche. If I'm right, it's the only one Porsche that we have here in the Pro Division. I'm not sure, but I think. And let's go for the next round, maybe, with the Porsche driver. Don't hesitate to go on the curbs. And Flask is now in the 14th position. Last lap was complete in 1 minute 54.7. And there is still some driver in the pit lane. The Shooter 80 go out from the pit lane for the last try. 2 minutes and 20 seconds left before the checkered flag of this qualifying session. Whoa! He missed the chicane and go directly in the pit lane for Flask. Tobias Baumann in the 15th position. It's the other Bentley, and he will complete a new lap. And
Zype is moving up to P2.
Yeah.
In the Bentley.
2 tenths slower compared to the pole position. A very impressive performance from Mali for this qualifying session. He take the pole position at the beginning of the session and never left it to
Elias, fastest lap of his qualifying session, 1:54.05.
Shall we see a driver under the barrier of 1 minute and 54 seconds?
And Mali won't improve. Mali is only exiting the pit lane now. He won't be able to reclaim his spot.
I think it will be too short because it's only 40 seconds left before the checkered flag. He will not be able to complete a new lap.
Yes. And our Def is still not scoring any lap time so far. He's in the lap right now, but will he avoid any cut? Will he manage to not crash? Not so sure, but for now he's starting dead last. Let's see if he can improve, and if other people can improve as well. Because there's still a lot of cars currently on a flying lap. Worth noting though that for now the first line of a grid is occupied by 2 Lexus. And the qualification is over. Every driver need to finish their current lap.
And even though
So
take the 12th position.
So our Def, he is finishing his lap and he will score a lap time, but it's still not enough to improve his position. He will start last on the grid.
Even if it's the last...
Back! He managed to go under the 154, sorry, 153.9. Impressive lap time with a Lamborghini. We said it was a very fast car, but quite hard to drive. But it's paying off so far in this qualifying session. There's still a race afterwards, but we didn't really think that Beck would have been to get that position. It was pretty clear in our mind that it was Elias normally.
Yeah, the
Beck
Lexus
wasn't really.
The Lexus was very fast here, and we were supposing that the Lexus will take the pole position. There is still 2 Lexus running. Jason Absheimer will complete the last lap in few seconds.
He's wide in the chicane. He might be able to improve his position though. Don't think it will be enough for the pole position. And it's not. He will remain in P5. And I think everyone finished their lap.
As you can see, it's quite close, less than 1 second between the first and the 23rd car. And the last one at only 1.7. It's very, very close. And just remember, we are here with the Pro Division of this Apex Online Racing GT3 Championship. There is 2 divisions below and 1 at a better skills or pace, we can say. We don't know the times of the pole position, but it should be interesting after the race to check with the data, if it's possible, what should be the different pole position of the division. But for sure, I'm pretty sure it will be very, very close.
Also, just a heads up in terms of strategy, there's a mandatory pit stop who need to be served, and it will be between the 25th and the 35th minutes of a race. So there's 10 minutes during the race where the pit lane will be open. The rest of the time it will remain closed. So maybe we'll see some different strategy. Maybe drivers who want to pit in the first few laps, and drivers who want to stretch their stint as late as possible.
It depends of the traffics, maybe. If you have a car just in front of you and you think you are faster, it should be possible to try to go in the pits earlier, but that means you suppose you will come back on track maybe alone and should be able to go faster than that you were able before. Or if the feeling with the car is quite good, trying to stay on the track and have the best performance as you can, because when you will come back on track, you don't know if the tire make a little bit more cold, if it will be easier to find the same pace. So it should be different. Now let's see, and let's start for the race. There is 2 Porsche. I said a mistake just before. There is 2 Porsche drivers, and we can see them in the middle of the grid. But for the pole position here for the first round of the season 2, it's a Lamborghini for the Pro Division and Julian Beck.
Green light, go, go, go.
It's green, I think. Oh, I think we're gonna have one. Oh yeah, the start procedure. Like cars need to complete at least one warm-up lap. Sorry for that mistake.
Yeah, we only have to wait the end of this lap. We will be able to see the different driver trying to warm up the tires.
Put temperature in their brakes as well.
Yeah.
Pretty sure those drivers don't want to lock up in that first corner. It's quite scary. With
Yeah.
with a really hairpin.
The track is quite wide on the first corner, but it's always tricky because after in the Mercedes arena there is not a different layout possible and trajectory, and we can suppose maybe two cars can pass side by side, but in the first corner it's possible to arrive at 3, 4, maybe 5 in a row, so the first corner will be very, very tricky. And here with 30 cars on the starting grid, we can suppose some contacts will occur with the different car. Let's see if some driver will find a good opportunity to keep some position here, or if some of them will lose the big part of the race. Remember that the race is 1 hour length. Long, sorry, and we can lose a lot of things at the first corner, but after there is so much time to try to keep position and track. At the end of the field, Shooter, it's quite late. Yeah, Shooter have some trouble, I think, because it is very, very left, very, very far from the...
I think he's far from the pits, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you can see on the gap there is 30 seconds separating Shooter to our def.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard for him to catch the pack. At the race, there's still 57 minutes in the race. Let's go back to the front of the pack though. One Lamborghini followed by 2 Lexus. Beck, Elias, Malif, this is the current top 3 on the grid. And it's green. Very good start by the Lamborghini. And I think it's hype in the before the first corner, but the Bentley. Absmeyer, who managed to overtake around the outside. No, he lost his momentum, and there's 3 Lexus. Sorry, no
contact in the middle of the pack for the car number 663, Vincent Leitner. Speed.
He's the teammate of the pole man. There's one car at the front of the pack and one at the bottom. From the rest of the pack, the start was quite clean. Let's go back to the leaders. And Beck has already a 1 second lead over Elias.
We can see a significant gap between Thomas Osé and Adrien Grenier. Nearly 2 seconds separate both cars.
Well, there's a fight for P5 between Zype and Zukowski. And between the two the Lexus in front as well. Absbay are trying to put some pressure on Mani. Heading to the chicane. It's quite hard to pass here. He's not going for it. This seems like a relatively clean first lap. No major incidents. Alright, let's see what Absmeyer can do now. Into a first corner. Not close enough. I can see in the exit of the first corner, drivers have some different lines.
Just to keep an eye at the end of the field. Shooter 80 is still the last car on track. Vincent Leidner with the spin and the contact in the turn number 1 is now in 27th position. And GK with the Ferrari is in 26 and in 25. 25, yeah. 25.
I think GK suffered an incident as he was in P13 or in P14 on the grid. And now it's Mali who is putting pressure on Elias for second place. And Beck. He probably wants on those Lexus to fight, like that he can open a gap. That's very close between those three guys. But again, it's not a very hard braking zone here, as we don't use the GP layout, but the Blancpain chicane. Oh, small mistake by Mali. Maybe Absmeyer will be able to get the job done. No, but he's in the slipstream of a number 15. But Mali's keep defending, but Absmeyer is already there, heading up to turn 1. On the brakes. It's gonna be hard. Mali got momentum. He can carry more speed on the outside, and he will stay P3. But the battle is far from over. Oh, small slide again by Mali, who is continuing to do some tiny mistakes. And be careful, because there's a Bentley Zype and the Audi of Zukowski behind, who might be able to join those two guys in the battle. And as I say, Zach Zype with a small mistake, and Zukowski might be able to capitalize on it. Coming to the European in the slipstream. Zype with a defensive line. And that's a nice defensive move from the Bentley driver. And thanks to that, Absmeyer now might have some relief. He doesn't have the pressure of a number 22.
Behind we can see Richard Zukowski following the Bentley, and Julian Pakers with the Mercedes in 7th position. Thomas is following the Mercedes.
J. Cool, huge slide exiting the Schumacher S. He lost a couple of positions. Sorry to cut you there.
Let's try to see what happened. The two Porsche overtakes the Audi. Flask and Crop take
The two Porsche
take the
fight
position.
between each other now into turn 1. We are fighting for P11. Oh, small mistake here by Crop, missing the apex. I think Flask managed to open a gap thanks to that mistake, but the battle is not over at the front. Mali Absmeyer, round 2. Still fighting for P3. Oh, and it's Beck in front. Beck who is doing a little mistake. And it's now Elias who might be able to capitalize on it and overtake him. Heading to the chicane. It will be hard. He's a bit far. But he's still taking a defensive line. The Lexus seems to have a lot more top speed than the Lamborghini.
Yeah, and with the fast chicane, it should be difficult to overtake on it because there is one trajectory here to pass with a good pace.
Oh, and Mali has done a little mistake again. It's Absmeyer who is now overtaking him, but Mali might be able to catch him in the braking zone. He's on the preferred line, on the brakes.
And the two Lexus side
Oh,
by
that's
side.
close! And he's gonna go do the switchback. But oh, little door-to-door contact from number 15, who is trying to defend. And Absmeyer, you slide in the exit. And the Bentley is joining the party as well behind.
The Audi also.
Oh, and Beck! Beck is in the wall! Beck has spun! And look, he's the Tupork, as well as Jekyll, managed to overtake him. He's now in P13. He was the leader of his race. And there's another yellow flag. What happened? Xipe is in the gravel. So is Zukowski.
It's an oversteer in the Mercedes Arena for the car number 28. And for Xipe, what
I think
happened?
there was a contact with Zukowski.
Oh yeah. And the Bentley go into the grass. And now we can find the three Lexus in
One,
position
two, three.
1, 2, 3.
And they create a gap with Paker, who is in P4, currently with his Mercedes. And Beck has already made up 2 positions because, thanks to the crash between Zukowski and Xipe, who is now P27. I think he might have some damage from that incident.
Oh, a contact between J. Cool and Krop. And with Beck
Oh yeah,
now.
Mari is only P9. What happened to the Lexus?
I haven't seen what happened.
And Beck on the brakes, he might be able to overtake J. Cool, and he will. Maybe the switchback from the Audi, but not the Lamborghini momentum. And Mali, look, the oversteer of his car, it's insane. He's sliding all over the corners. I wonder how he can keep this car on the track. But somehow he managed to hold it. On the AstroTurf, back end, bit twitchy, and now it's the Audi who might be able to get the position. No, he's not willing to go around the outside. And now it's Beck who need to defend from Mali. Lot of craziness happening in the last few laps.
And with all this incident, the driver who was starting in the 5th row are now entering the top 5.
Oh, be careful, because there's a small mistake from Paker, who is currently in P3, and Verhose, who might be able to challenge him around the outside in the Schumacher chicane. What a move by the number 20 car. Maybe, though, Paker will be able to do a switchback. No, he put two wheels on the dirt,
Adrien
and he's
Grenier
losing his momentum.
takes the advantage.
On P4 now, and the Audi, we're quite far in the quali session. Seems like a safer car during the race stream, and they are proving that. Only 2 Lexus remain. It's Elias who has now a 4.1 second lead over his teammate Absmeyer. But behind, the Audi are coming.
Flask and Krop are very fast in the last lap. 56 1.1 for both drivers.
And it is quite fast, but Elias was even faster, the lead of the race, currently doing 55.8. And Absmeyer as well, 55.5. Alexis seems to really have some pace, but seems like to be a very hard car to drive. Meli proved us that that car was having a lot of oversteer, or maybe it's his setup. We don't know.
We don't know, but we can suppose Mali won
look,
the
he's
tire
again.
very quickly in the qualification.
That's true, he might have a quality setup, but not so optimized for the race. And he's continued to suffering. Look, Beck, who overtook him a lap ago, is already 1.5 seconds ahead. He's now under the pressure of J. Cool. What was a promising start in the qualifying session for Mali turned out in a disaster race for now. Oh, look, the car again. Unsettling through that chicane. And Jacob might be able to make a move. Ah, he's too far back in that chicane. Here. Coming to the last corner. I need to have a very good exit there. Carry some speed of the slipstream, but Mali seems to nail that exit. And he will be safe for now at least. Meanwhile, at the front, Oz and Grony are still fighting for P3. Behind, Baker seems to struggle a bit now in the Mercedes. He's under the pressure of Lucky. And two Porsche, don't count the arm, they are still there behind, waiting for the drivers to do a mistake. And Beck is in a recovery after leading the race early. He had a spin.
Yellow flag on the track. What happened? Where is it? It's clear now. I haven't seen what happened.
I think it was quite far back.
Felix R 1999 is in the pit lane. It's quite earlier. The pit lane is closed for the moment. The driver have to pass between minutes 25 and 35 of the race, and Xipe is in 27th position.
He might have damage or part of the car to retire. And meanwhile, Zukowski as well is on the recovery drive. We forgot about him, but Zukowski was fighting for a top 5, even a podium, before being caught in a crash with the driver of Xipe. And now he's fighting Dope, and just in front of these two, there's Mali and Jacob who are still fighting. And Jacob made the pass take. And Zukowski as well is trying around the outside in the chicane. That's quite opportunistic. He back out of it. And Mali is gonna try to reclaim his 10th spot. It's a bit of oversteer in the exit of this last corner. It's gonna be hard. We know the Lexus got some very nice top speed, but the Audi seems even faster.
And thus the Lamborghini will come back under the rear wing of the Lexus and try to make the same maneuver as the Audi driver in the next few laps. Behind the Lexus, in 11th position, there is several cars that are able to come back. Ryszard Zubowski with the Audi. In front of him it's Tobias Dope with the Lamborghini, and we have to wait 1 second to find Martin Matster also with an Audi.
Martin Master very wide there. Missing the apex.
And after we have to wait 2 seconds.
But still, with 20 minutes into the race, we can still have a very close field apart from the two Lexus, who are really flying now. Elias first with a 2-second lead over Absmeyer. despite Websmeyer gaining 8 tenths in the last lap, I think Asmeyer did the fastest lap of the race, 55.1. That was 8 tenths faster than Elias on the last lap. I'm behind. Grenier is still putting pressure on Jose. 4P3. Yeah, Absmeyer improving his lap time again. And getting 8 tenths on Elias. And Jose, look, taking a defensive line. Grenier is in at his back. On the brakes. He's not going for it. But putting pressure. Maybe do a switchback there. He's not being able to carry speed.
And we've just seen Julian Picker coming back quite earlier on the first corner on the two Audi. They are fighting and defending position, but they lose time for the Mercedes driver. It's quite easier to keep the contact, but after you have to find an opportunity to pass both cars at the same time. It should be quite tricky.
Or maybe Grenier now taking a move on the inside. But yeah, they are losing time by battling. They are 1 second. They are 1 second slower than the two guys at the front. Grenier clipping the curb on the inside and slitting a bit the car. Not losing that much time though. We can see Grenier being a lot more aggressive on the curbs compared to Jose. It might pay off in the end.
Maybe try to create space on the track to be able to have more speed at the outside of the curve. Try to overtake in the straight.
That was a big slide from Jose. They are all driving on the limits. Yeah, but Grenier is quite far back now. It's gonna be hard to try something there. But look who is coming back behind. It's Lucky W.
Yeah.
Lucky was 5 tenths faster than all these drivers. He might join the party for who will access to the last spot on the podium. And now Grenier is really close to the back of Jose.
And behind Lucky, it's Julian Beck who may be able to come back if the fight was too intensive.
Yeah, Julian Beck who managed to overtake 2 Porsche and there's Mali, who is also making a recovery, and he managed to overtook Flask. The pair of them are still side by side, but Mali get the job done on the outside. If Beck managed to come back on the podium, it would be quite something. Still 45 minutes in the race.
And in the next lap, the pit lane will be open. Some driver should enter in the pit lane.
Will they took tires? Will they just put some fuel? That's the big question. I don't think they will change tires on a 1 hour race. Grenier.
Mistake for Mali and Flask.
Again, look at the back of the Lexus, so unstable.
The Porsche and the Lexus side by side for the chicane.
You can't go too wide here. They're still trying to go too wide there, and they managed to do so without any contact. Amazing show off from both of his drivers, but there's still Dope behind. Dope in the Lamborghini, who might be able to overtake both of them. They're still side by side. Mali a bit in front on the inside. He got the preferred line on the brakes, but look at Dope. He might force the free wide there. He back out. And Flask on the outside. He will try to do a switchback, but he won't be able to. These guys taking the pit lane the chicane, side by side. That was impressive. At the front, we missed that, but Grenier managed to pass Jose for P3. But Grenier just made a mistake. And Jose might be able to fight back and get his P3. He preferred to lift. Maybe he doesn't want to fight Grenier now. And look who is now at the back of Elias. It's Absmeyer. He managed to close the gap to only 5 tenths now between the two leaders. Will one of them dive into the pit lane, try the undercut or the overcut? None of them will go into the pit lane. Will Asmeyer be able to force a move at turn 1? He loses a bit the back here. It will be hard for tenths.
In the second groups of the driver, nobody go into the pit lane. Everybody stay on the track. Julian Beck do the same. Krop also. The Lexus driver do the same. Oh, there is some cars. Tobias Droppe go in the pit lane. Jay Cool and Martin Matzler also.
Miss Gorn. Yeah, all the drivers who are in the midfield now, they want some clean air. They don't want to fight and lose time. So I would say if you're in a group of cars at the moment, you want your pit. You want to exit the pit in clean air and be able to push without losing time.
And defenders, Tobias Baumann, Dakusa. These three drivers stay on the track and are now 11, 12 and 13. We can see just not just behind. It's
Absmeyer, his
X-Cole, who is in 14th position, and GK in a 15.
Absmeyer is still putting pressure on Elias. You can see the two different driving styles. Elias being very aggressive on the curbs, and Absmeyer a very cool driving style. Smooth. Oh, and the big slide from Elias! Elias, he's in the wall! He lost his car in the chicane. He's gonna pit surely, yeah. He's diving into the pits. But that mistake will probably cost him the race lead and the victory. In the second group, nobody is pitting. Beck is trying to catch.
Flask go into the pit lane. Dakusa do the same. Our Def is now in 16th position with the Mercedes, just behind, just in front of Vincent Leinder, and Def go in the pit lane also.
And Grenier, after overtaking Jose, has managed to open a gap. There's 1 second between him and the rest of the group. And Beck, he's catching that group. He might be able to challenge them for P3 after an early spin when he was in the race lead. He went back to P13 and now he's P6. The pit window is the pit is still open, but only for 5 more minutes.
It's 2 laps approximately.
You don't want to pit too late, otherwise it will probably result in a penalty. You can see Beck going over the curves. You know it's like he's attacking. He's probably not happy with himself, not happy with that mistake. And he's trying everything to go back on the podium.
We are halfway through. Keep it up.
And we're halfway into the race. Who is in the pits?
Adrien
And
Grenier.
Grenier is in the pits. Lucky is in the pits. But Jose, Baker, and Beck are all continuing. Beck might want to do the overcut. He still has some clean air, and that's probably a smart strategy from him. The question is, where will Grenier exit the pits? Will he be in front of Elias, or will he be behind him? That's the big question. Elias is already coming into the last chicane. Into the last corner.
And for Lucky, it's a very fast pit stop.
Oh yeah, Lucky's probably just put fuel in it. And he's gonna exit the pit lane in front of Elias. And I think Grenier is taking tires, or maybe he have a penalty. Grenier is still in the pits. What is happening? You can see other drivers exiting the pit lane. And yeah, Grenier, I think, changed tires. Ah, that's probably a bad call in terms of strategy, or maybe he had a penalty. Even Linder, who was a 10 spot behind him, exit in front. So now, there's one thing for sure, Lucky is now virtually in second place. As Mayer, he's still going for one more lap probably. The last one on his first stint. And the 92 is getting a drive-through for track limits.
Who is the 92?
And it's our death in the Merc. Pretty unlucky.
We can see something. It seems it's in the Mercedes Arena.
Yeah, probably just a corner cut. I think you can do 3 or 5 corner cut before getting a penalty.
I think in the Mercedes Arena, he go 4 wheels outside of the track. You have the 4 wheels on the right side of the white line, and maybe it's a penalty.
And Beck is pitting. Will he exit? Oh, it was a very fast pit stop for him. Very, very fast indeed. And he will exit in front of Lucky. So Beck is now currently in P2, at least virtually, because in front of him there's still drivers who did not pit. The likes of Mali, Baker, Jose, and Absmeyer. Absmeyer, if he is pitting this lap, should remain in first position. But for the latest, Jose, Baker, and Mali, I don't think they will stay in front of Beck.
Let's keep an eye on the leader, Jason Absmeyer. Only 1 minute and 20 to go into the pit lane. You have to enter now.
He's a solid leader so far, no mistakes at all. He was P3 at the start of the race, but he watched Beck and then Elias doing mistakes when he was smooth. And it's a very safe pit entry. Behind, Jose is in the pits, Baker is in the pits. As well as the 92 who just did his drive-through. Will it be a fast pit stop for Asmey, or will he take tires or just fuel? He will remain in first position.
Mali also in the pit lane.
For Jose and Baker, will it be a fast pit stop?
Beck is in the last chicane, followed by Lucky, 2.9 seconds behind. Absmeyer is now on track.
Lucky, Beck, Elias, they were all in the same group, in the same pack before the pit stop, and Jose is exiting the pit lane. It will be quite with Beck, and I think Jose will manage to stay in front. They are both side by side, and Jose will manage to keep that P2, but not with a big margin. And Peker is taking tires as well. Oh, that's a shame. He's gonna be very far. He's gonna be where Grenier is. Look, Grenier, he's here. And Grenier is in P16. Peker is in P18. He's even behind Zype. What a shame. And look who gained a lot of position thanks to that. It's Vlask, the Porsche driver, who is now sitting in P6. He's maybe not the fastest out there, but he managed to keep his car out of trouble. And it's paying off so far. But there's still 24 minutes to go. Meanwhile, Beck, he's putting some pressure on Jose. He seems much more faster than the Audi driver. The question is, will Jose be able to defend for 23 minutes as Beck is getting a U-slide. He's losing his momentum, and now he needs to defend unlucky. He's probably gonna recharge for Jose to defend for more than 23 minutes, but if he can push Beck over the limit and trying to push Beck into doing some mistakes, maybe he will be able to hold on P2. But there's Lucky behind, who probably want a piece of the cake as well. Remember, these three drivers are fighting for the P2 and P3 in fact, and there's Elias behind, who is not so far away, and we know Elias have pace.
And Absmeyer have approximately 17 seconds gap on the second position. It's quite comfortable for the Lexus driver.
I can put cruise mode now, I think. You just need to keep the car on the track. It should be enough for the race win there at Nürburgring. Now Beck, he's already at the back of Jose despite his mistake on the last lap. Coming into the airpin now. 3 times behind. If there's a move, it's not gonna happen now. It's gonna happen maybe at Chumares or maybe at turn number 1. Oh, again a big slide, but a big... That was a close call. Amazing special awareness from Beck, who managed to avoid Jose, who pushed the car a bit too wide there in the exit, put 2 wheels on the gravel, and is losing the back end, and it's over at that speed. But now Beck, he's in P4, and it's Lucky who all of a sudden is in P2, and Elias in P3. And Flask, the Porsche driver, in P5.
And Lucky take the second position, and Elias is now in third.
But look at Beck, he's already at the back of Elias.
At the rear of the field, still 27 car running. Shooter 80 is in position 27, just behind, not just 23 seconds behind Def. Sheridan crossed the line for the lap number 19 in 25 position. In position 24, it seems there is Dimitri Gueman.
Oh, look at that curb. Risk taking for Beck on the last chicane. And both him and Elias are faster than Lucky. So we'll probably end up in a freeway battle for P2. Maybe Flask, who knows? Meanwhile, at the back of the field for P10, there was a free-wide battle into turn 1 between Dopey, Krop and GK. These guys are racing hard.
Just a few seconds, guys. I have to cut the image for a few seconds, and just to coming back to show you the rest of the race. We'll come back in a few seconds. Don't move.
Oh, well, GK was a bit wide there onto the grass. Like in next sector of a chicane, but he might be able to make a move on Krop, or will it be Krop making a move on Tobias Dopey? And the Porsche have a good top speed. Well, he's quite far. It's gonna be hard on the brakes. He's not going for it. Well, small mistake by Krop that might allow GK to overtake him, doing the switchback. More speed in the exit, small oversteer moment. And he's ruining his attempt to go for a move there.
And David Mixon is also coming back and join the battle for the team's position. Car number 500.
Yes, and Greg Zipe as well, who was involved in a crash in the first few corners,
Saipa.
who is now coming back. He's a second faster than these guys in front of him, so he might be able to join the party in the last few laps. Still 15 minutes left to go. It's gonna be hard for Everett. Just in front of that group, there's Melly and Jose who are fighting for P6. Jose in the Audi, Melly in the Lexus. Around the outsider, that's pretty hard. Mali clipping the curb there, losing a bit of momentum. Like he's much stronger on the brakes. Look at the time he gained on Jose there at the hairpin. Mali maybe here, the chicane. He's much faster, but as we said countless times, Clickboard broadcast, it's quite hard to overtake there. But he put the pressure on Jose, who did a small mistake. And now maybe in the straight line, on the start-finish line, he might be able to take them. Defensive line taken by Jose. Mali will probably go around the outside. Or will he dare go around the inside there? No, he shoots the outside. On the brakes. And he's much better on the brakes, but he overshoot the corner. And that's probably gonna help Jose. And Jose will stay in P6 for the moment. And we missed something because Beck managed to overtake Elias for P3.
Jose still in 6th position, Mali in 7th, due to the braking point missed by Mali at the first corner. Now the gap is 18th. It will take the rest of the lap to Mali to try to coming back under the rear wing of the Audi. During this time, it is still quite close for the position number 10. Yes, Croak and
The Avengers were fighting to get me for P9.
GK was now under the pressure to X-Cole and David Mixon. The group was split in 2 subgroups. For X-Cole, there is some car movement.
Mali managed to overtake Jose. We missed that.
Let's see if I can take it. Yeah, I will be able to have it here. It was at the outside of the S of the Schumacher. It's side by side in the next chicane, but at the end Mali take the advantage and go in front of Jose just before the long straight, and after the Lexus will use the power of the engine to keep the advantage in the last chicane. For Jose, he takes some risk in the curbs, but the Lexus still keep the advantage. Oh, it's quite close to the wall for Thomas Jose. We'll go back in live in a few seconds. We are now in live, and we can see Mali create a huge gap, 2.5 seconds. Now
there's a fight. There's a fight for P2 between Lucky and Beck.
If Julian and Beck come back to the second position, it's quite amazing.
Yeah, especially for those who weren't there at the start of the race. Bake was leading after getting the pole position, but he made a mistake in lap 2 or 3, I believe. He spun They're losing like 20 seconds and going back into P14, and now being able to still be on the podium and fighting for the silver medal is even more impressive. And in front, there's Absmate in the Lexus, who is in the league of his own, really, with a 23-second lead over Lucky.
David Mixorn put the pressure on Exol. Oh, Exol, who put 2 wheels on the grass. Not the best position to the next turn, and now let's see if in the airpin David will be able to put the hood of the car at the inside. No, it's not possible. Well managed by the Mercedes driver. Schumacher airs for the next corner. We can hear... Oh, spin for the Ferrari! Spin for GK! It touched the wall.
At the same place as Ozzy a couple of laps earlier.
And Xipe?
He's able to overtake him, yeah. And he's still catching the guys in the front.
And Vincent Linder at the pressure of Julian Paker. It's quite close for the Mercedes. In the long straight, I think the IMG engine. Oh, it will be easier for the driver, it seems. At the inside of the corner. Jay Cool, the teammate of Lucky, is watching it just behind.
And Jay Cole might be able to do a switch back there. Why he won't be able to. Meanwhile, Becky's very close to the rear of Lucky now.
And 6 minutes left before the checkered flag. 3 laps, approximately.
Oh, Beck is really close now. With the slipstream, defensive line taken by Lucky. He's a bit far low.
Both blue Lamborghini involved in some battle for the rest of the race. Oh, Jay Cool go in the sandbox, and it will allow Grenier to overtake and keep the position number 18 here. Whoa, spin for Grenier on the curbs.
He took the curry on the inside. That's probably gonna be a DNF, I think, for him.
I don't touch the wall, but let's see if the engine is still running. Our engine is running, the car is coming back on track, but a lot of position loose for Adrien Grenier. And the last driver on track is Def. "9 seconds behind Shooter. In position 25, Adrien Grenier and David Mamet with another Bentley in position 24. 23, we can find Shaggy Down, Tobias Bowman in 22. Takusa in position 21, just behind Andrex UK. Lexus versus BMW.
Oh, Lucky made a mistake. Lucky made a mistake, and Beck is able to get P2 now.
In the last corner. Missed the apex and go in the sand. Jadon Meyer still leading the race. The best lap by Absmeyer was complete in 1 minute 55.1. If I'm checking if it's the first lap in the race, I think yes. The next one, it seems it's Xipe with the Bentley with a 55.3. And I think there is still 2 laps before the checkered flag. At the end of this one. We'll cross the line at approximately 2 minutes and 20 seconds. But the gap is not enough to be able to lift up the foot and reduce the pace. More than 2 minutes and 20 seconds when they cross the line. 2 laps to go. Second position for Julian Beck.
Oh, big crash! Big crash for Vanders. He lost it in the fast chicane as well. And now it's Xipe who is P13 and he's coming back. Going at the back of Gascol and Misgorn.
What happened for Vendors? Let's see it in a replay. And the driver took the curbs. The Audi is quite unstable in the curves, it seems.
And Xipe, look, he is fighting for P11 now, catching those 2 guys in front of him.
Leaders on final lap.
And final lap for the leader. Where is the leader? No, it's not the final lap for the leader. You still have to complete 1 more lap at the end of this one. GK and Vendors fighting for the 14th position. Andrex UK and Dakusa fighting for the position 19. Vincent Lindner quite safe in the 18. And Julian Bake still under the pressure of Lucky. He will start the last lap with a 16th ahead of Lucky and Jason Absmeyer now within the last lap of the race. Still 21 seconds ahead of Julian Bake. Elias is in fourth, sprayed by 7 seconds on Flask. What are the tricky points for the rest of the race here? David Mixon and Xipe. Let's keep an eye on the leader. Jason Absmeyer for the Pro Division. A few meters before the checkered flag. We are entering in the last chicane. The last corner now. And victory for Jason Absmeyer here at the Nürburgring. Let's see, we'll cross the line in the second position for the moment. It seems it's the blue Lamborghini Huracan GT3, just followed by the Audi number 29. Julian Beck complete the first race in second position and Lucky in third. Elias finish in fourth and Flask just crossed the line in fifth with the Porsche. Tamali is in sixth. Thomas Ose in seventh position. Martin Matzler complete in 8, Tobias Dopey in 9, and Krupp complete the top 10. The first driver in outside the top 10 is Davide Mixon. Xipe in 12, GK in 13, followed by Jay Cool and Zukowski in 15, Vincent Leitner cross the line in 16th position, followed by Hendrix UK and Dakusa. X-Cole is just behind with Tobias Bowman. Shaggy Down 29, Julian Paker in 22, David Mame in 23, Andy Venders cross the line in 24, Adrien Grenier unfortunately after a very strong beginning of the race, the strategy have some trouble and he will cross the line. No, he won't cross the line. What happened for the car? There is no fuel. It's possible that the driver of the car number 77 will cross the line. He finished, but it's quite close to the out of fuel for the car number 27. A shooter also finished the race, and our definitely finished in 27 position. Let's see in a few seconds to try to keep the podium drivers for the podium interview. We will come back in few seconds for the podium. Don't left. We are coming back in few seconds. Thank you. We are back for the interview with two drivers. We are with Lucky and Jason. Welcome, guys.
Welcome.
Good evening, everyone.
Congratulations. So for the first round of the GT3 Season 2, we have an amazing show during 1 hour and a lot of events occurs during the race, but at the end, Jason, you won the race just in front of Julian Bake and in third, Lucky. What was our impression during the qualifying session? We have found the Lexus at the front of the grid. Does this car have something specific here at the Nürburgring?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I don't think it's anything specific. For me personally, it's just my driving style. So I don't know if the other guys also have the same driving style that I have. But the Lexus is really, I won't say superior, but we'll see in the next rounds coming if it will really be the fastest car. But yeah, I think around Nürburgring it suits all the corners, the straights. So it's really a enjoyable car to drive. So yeah, it wasn't surprising to see that the grid was locked out by Lexus.
Mhm.
But no, it's really a fun car to drive.
During sorry, continue.
No. You can go.
During the race, you start at the front of the grid. It was quite tricky at the beginning of the race because there is the Lamborghini of Julian Bake in the front, and after the three Lexus, and with some incident, you keep the lead of the race, and after you take some margin, you were quite easier to keep the first victory of the season. How do you manage it?
Yeah, to start off, qualifying was really bad for me. Couldn't get a clean lap in, and even 2 minutes to go, I went out to try and get a lap in, but that didn't help. So fifth was the best I could get. Yeah, first corner I took the Bentley next to me. I'm not sure who that was, and then just tried to keep up with I think it was the two Lexus in front of me, and then the Lamborghini of Beck. Yeah, he showed great pace, but then he spun out. Not sure what happened there. And then me and Taha Mila had a great race, very clean. And then I'm not sure which lap it was, but he had a bad exit at the back straight. And going for the last chicane, I was next to him, and then we just ran out of space. So we collided, but I saved it. And just try to continue and to not think about that. But yeah, I did apologize to him now directly, so I'm not sure if he's going to apologize back or say sorry or accept my apology. But yeah, and then after that, the guy in front of me also spun out, but I caught him almost a second a lap. And then yeah, once he spun out, I just tried to keep the pace. Do my pit stop, and then just manage the tires and the fuel to eventually, I think, end up 23 seconds ahead of everyone else.
What was your expectation for this first run before the race?
Expectation, especially in the pro split, I mean, there are really fast guys who deserve actually to be in the elite tier. So big ups to them. They are really fast, and to match their pace. I mean, as a South African, the community here is quite big, and we've got a lot of fast drivers, but we aren't very well known, internationally. But there are some guys that show up now and then. So no, it's really good to have a good result, and to have my name up there, which is really nice.
Okay. Thank you, Jason, for your feedback, and congratulations for the first victory.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. In the third step of the podium, Lucky with the Audi. Lucky, what a strategy and what a fast pit stop. What did you do exactly in the car?
Yeah, first of all, congrats to Jason. I think he showed some great pace during the race. Finished like 20 seconds ahead of me. Yeah, congrats to you. And yeah, my strategy, I started from P9, I think. And I actually had quite a bad start. I was involved in that incident in the first corner, which I'm very sorry of. But after that, I tried to be consistent, and it did actually work out very well. There was a lot of accident and spin arounds in front of me, which I could take to my advantage. And yeah, so then I gradually and slowly picked up the places, and actually in the end I finished third, which I'm very happy of.
We thought for our first time for the end of the race that you will be able to hold up, but you made a tiny mistake in the last corner. Was that due to the pressure, or you were just pushing too hard?
Could be that was about pressure, because the guy, the Julian Beck was his name.
Yeah.
He really pushed me there, and I saw it in the deltas. He really came closer every round, and yeah, I don't know. I was kind of in a tunnel, but suddenly I misbraked or something, and then yeah, can happen so fast.
We have seen some driver with the Audi make some mistake on your side. Sorry. Is there some moment where the car was tricky to drive, especially in the curbs? I think.
Yeah, but I managed to set up. I put a lot of work on the setup, and it was actually quite safe. I had good confidence in the car. So yeah, it's actually quite understeery, the Audi.
Okay. Thank you for your feedback. Maybe any question, Henrik, to add or
No.
nothing? Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you for your time and for the interview, and see you next week for the round 2.
Yep. Thank you.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. So, after the first round, next race will be next week, and the race will be at Spa-Francorchamps. An amazing track for these cars, one of the famous race of the world. Was raced each summer and each year. I'm quite impatient to see what should be the show on this track, Henrik.
Well, first of all, it will be quite an interesting race. With a Radeon, we might see more overtakes. There's more straight lines. We'll see, but it's a long track as well. 2 minutes 15, 2 minutes 20, more or less. It will be a longer race, 1 hour and 30. So maybe some drivers will take the gamble to change their tires. It might pay off in the end, which on a sprint race like we had today on Nürburgring, it won't really be good. So we'll see.
Yeah, remember that the next race will be a 90-minute race. Let's see if the tires will be sufficient to race during 90 minutes, or if we have to change it. Today it seems the tires were not specific issue. Some curbs make some trouble, and with 30 car on track we have seen such an impressive traffic in the first lap. During 60 minutes we have some battle, so for this first one clearly the show was there, and we hope to see the same at Francorchamps next week with the pro division of the Apex Online Racing GT3 Season 2. Thank you everybody to have watched this race in live or after the retransmission on YouTube. Don't hesitate to like the video or to share it if you like it. If you would like to see more content on our channel without waiting next week, just tomorrow it's the round 26 of the US Racing FRN Cup Series. The French NASCAR division will compete for the end of the season to define the champion. It's the third round of it's the second round of the playoff and the last race of this second round. After, I remember that on iRacing there is the Fanatec GT Challenge that is broadcast each Friday. We cover the start at 9:45 in French time. So for the GMT, it's GMT +2. So it's the start at 7:55. And after next week, we are coming back with the next race of the Apex Online Racing. Thank you, Henrik, for being there for this round. And see you for the next round.
See you next week. Bye bye.
See you next week, everybody, and bye bye.